Hi, and welcome to It Doesn't Have to Be Perfect, a podcast where I talk about literally anything that's on my mind. And it's great because I'm in charge here. So, I did not post a podcast episode last week because it was just really overwhelming. I was so busy. Like, I kid you not, I would wake up, I would go to my internship, right? And I would do work there. And then I would come home, I would eat, and then I would have to do homework. And then I would have to go to my second job at a coffee shop. And then as soon as I would get home, I would get to do more homework because I usually had a deadline like every other day. So, and it was like finals week, and I still have like one last thing to do, and it's an extra credit though. But I'm basically done, and I'm so excited. I'm just waiting for the grades to finalize because that's going to tell me if I graduate or not. I have been truly on edge the past month, and I've talked about this a little bit before, but like I have a professor that is like just very perfectionist with her grading. Like I've never seen a professor be so perfectionist. And it makes sense because it's a master's, okay? It's a master's degree, so of course like it's more nitty-gritty. It's more we're getting to the real stuff, okay? It was the last semester, and I feel like I definitely learned so much while doing this class. But at the same time, like it brought me just like great, just like I was just on edge all the time, okay? And I felt like everything that I was just doing wrong. And I ended up working with a tutor, and I ended up having like a one-on-one with a professor. So like if you're in that situation, just know that you can reach out. Like there's a lot of resources like that all schools have to provide. So it's really interesting to see like how I don't know how I navigated this whole situation. I feel like I did pretty well. I was never like, so she would leave me like so many comments on like Google Docs and like Google Slides, like a lot of comments, like in the dozens comments, like giving me feedback and stuff. And I could have been like you bitch. Like I could have just got off and like whatever, but like I was like, no, you know what? Like I must grow from this. She knows what she's talking about. She's a professor here. Hello. Like she knows what she's talking about. This is her career. So I feel like at first I kind of was resenting her. And then towards the end I was like, you know what? I know what you're looking for now. I understand, and I was not getting it at first, but now I get it. And that is thanks to the feedback, but also thanks to the tutor. Shout out to my tutor for helping me just figure things out, and like just her applause of like, hey, like I feel like you are getting it. Like this is not like it's not like way over your head. You just need to put it into words. And I was like, okay, thanks. God bless. But this past week was Thanksgiving, and I went back home for 4 days. I asked for like all that time off because I had not been home in a while, like to my mom's house, back in my hometown for like over like almost 2 months, because I knew that I had to really lock into this last semester, and I knew that like it would have been more worth it to just like have me for like those extra days instead of like being rushed and then going over there and like just doing homework while I was there. That just didn't seem worth it to me. And now now I'm free. Like technically now I'm free from like the chains of schoolwork and stuff. And I'm like, wow. Like every time this happens, I'm like, what do I do with myself? Like, how do I spend my time? And I know that I should apply for like big girl jobs now that I'm gonna get my degree. Hopefully, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but now that I'm getting my degree, like, okay, girl, like time to lock in. That way you're not working two jobs, because working two jobs is exhausting. But also, oh my god, last night I had a dream that I was back at like my case manager position, and it was just hell. I was like, why am I here? Why am I back here with these people? And it was just not a good time. And I feel like that my subconscious was trying to tell me like, hey, like whatever you do, like don't go back to this. Like like just don't, like it's not worth it. And yeah, a lot happened this past 2 weeks while I kind of took a break from podcasting. I mean, although a week isn't like that crazy, but I have this thing where this is It Doesn't Have to Be Perfect podcast, right? That's the title. And I feel like I have to consistently post, and like obviously that's with anything, like consistency is key, but like even missing 1 week, I'm like, oh, like that is so terrible. Like, why did I miss it? Like, I didn't need to. I could have figured it out. I could have, but to be honest, my brain was fried. Like, I was just always focused on like work, schoolwork, and surviving, like making myself food and like cleaning up after myself and like all those things. So I'm giving myself more grace because no, it does not have to be perfect. Even scheduling wise, like, yes, I want to be consistent. I want to be responsible, but sometimes that's just not possible. And I didn't want to spread myself too thin, if that makes sense, you know? So yes, I went back home and I really just I didn't really do much. I wasn't really out in the city too much. I literally just kind of stayed at my mom's house and I chilled and I watched New Girl with my sisters and we watched we saw Wicked. I don't know, we just hung out. We made good food. We had coffee every morning, you know, and it was really nice, really chill. And I think the only day that we had out and about was the day after I arrived, and we went to downtown Yuma and we went to the antique store, we went to the bookstore, and we just had a lot of fun. I dropped a lot of money on these girls, and like not even like that it's a bad thing. It's just like I love treating my sisters whenever I get a chance to hang out with them. But I think like with rent coming up and all the holiday shopping, and I was like, okay, like I need to be careful with how I'm spending my money because at the end of the day, I am, you know, I try to be frugal when I can, but then again, like at these times, I'm never gonna get back, you know, and so I'd rather have those memories and like be able to give something to them like when I can. Like I don't want to be a cheap steak sister, you know, like I don't want to do that. So whenever I can and when it's possible, I love to get back to them. And I don't know, even though, you know, it's like the big sister and the younger sister dynamic, you know, so like it's kind of like expected of me in a way. It's weird to have that on you when I still don't feel like I'm stabilized in like the income that's flowing in, you know. So it's funny because like I feel like I'm 25. They look at me as like a grown adult. You're so like she's so responsible. She's like out in the world and she's, you know, getting her master's and she's doing this and that. And I still don't feel like stabilized. Like I feel like I'm still like confused about like what path I'm going and like what direction I want to go in and all these jobs that I could do but I don't want to do, and like it's like choosing what you want to do. Like I don't know, like where do you want to spend most of your day essentially. And obviously like my goal with this podcast and everything, like I want to be able to do social media full time, and I'm not shy about it, and I'm not like gonna hold myself back from like trying, right? Because I am posting on everything that I can, and like I know I'm not that's not a secret, you know. And but at the same time I still like, while I'm not making all this money from it yet, I'm still manifesting that, I feel like I still need to obviously have an income. I need to survive. I need to fucking feed myself. So it's kind of like that play on things. And now that I'm graduating too, like I just want to like spend more time like on this. And like I feel like I've been giving well, I've talked about this before in a previous episode, but I feel like I'm giving this a lot of my time and effort, but like not enough to a point where I'm like proud of everything, of every single thing that I'm putting out there. And again, maybe this is perfectionist mind talking, but it's I don't think it's really, because like I really just want to be proud of what's out there that has my name on it or that I'm in, you know what I mean? So that's something that I'm excited, and I think I'm going to give myself a little bit of a grace period. Like after, you know, I just finished my schoolwork, I want to be able to just kind of like diffuse a little bit and chill and like not jump into it right away. I don't want to like burn myself out or burning myself that way so quickly, because I feel like I need to rest a little bit. Because I feel tired. Like this morning I was supposed to go into the office for my internship, even though I had no meetings or anything. It was just kind of like to have that consistency in scheduling. I couldn't get up. Like I was so tired. I put my alarm for 7:30 and I did not budge. I did not get up, and I was just exhausted. And it's evident that, at least for me, like what my intuition is telling me is like, okay, like at least like take a week off and like chill and like don't, I don't know, like maybe clean around the house, maybe do a little deep clean, maybe just, watch the stuff that you've been wanting to watch but you've been delaying because you've been so busy. So I'm gonna give myself that, and I think it's important to give yourself that, like that break in between like your next big thing, like your next project. To me, like the social media thing, it's like my passion project, so I want to be able to recharge if I'm gonna like really get into it, like even deeper than I already am. But speaking of being back in your hometown, I every time I go home for the holidays, I just think of that one Taylor Swift song that's like "'Tis the Season," and that song is about going back home for the holidays and essentially thinking about the roads not taken. And more specifically, I think it's more so referring to like partners or like exes. And every time I go back home for the holidays, I always like, it's in the back of my head of like, if I go to like the store, like I might run into someone. Like it's more than likely that I'm going to run into someone. Maybe not like talk to them, but like I'm going to see someone, you know what I mean? So it's like every time I'm home, like I'm so relaxed because I have no responsibilities at home. But at the same time, whenever I go out, like I'm not going to like step out in like flip flops and like, I don't know, like in sweats. Like even though I'm not trying to impress anyone at the same time, like I still don't want to be caught like not looking good. You know what I mean? Especially because like in my hometown, I have a handful of exes. So it's just funny to think about because like, obviously if like you're hearing this and you're like, if you were dating someone and you were hearing this, like you wouldn't like that. But like, I feel like it's normal. Like I feel like it's not that big of a deal because like, especially if like there's no intention behind it, it's more so like, I don't want to be caught slipping. You know what I mean? So it's like so funny when I think about that. Like, and because specifically the like little city that I'm from, it's so small. Like it's so tiny that like every corner I'm like, oh, that's where me and that ex like, I don't know, would hang out, or like that's where me like after school like we would meet here. And it's just like all over my neighborhood and all over my city, like there's just like little places everywhere that I'm like, oh, like that's where this happened, or that's where I met that person. Or it's so crazy, especially because it was like such young loves. Like I moved out of there like when I was like 19, so it's been a minute, and like all those memories are like of young love. And even then, like it's like, was it really love because I was so young? And I'm like, I want to say yes, at least like the 4 year on and off one. Rob, like we've talked about Rob before, not to drag his name further into the mud, but and it's, I don't know, it's just always a weird feeling coming back to your hometown, especially like it's not like I'm a stranger to it because I go like once a month, and I go for a weekend. But like the holidays particularly, I don't know, everything just feels like heightened emotion, even when thinking about people that we've lost along the way, like people that have passed since all that. And so it's just very heightened emotions during this time. And, I don't want to repress any memories of people that have been in my life and are not there anymore, you know, deceased or alive. Like, I think it's important to remember your past because it made the future, like it made like the now, it made who you are today. So I'm never gonna say like I regret this person, or I regret, like I don't really have it, like I don't really see myself as being someone that's like very regretful, because again, those situations taught me a lot, and like they make me the person that I am today. So I'm not too mad about it, especially because I don't know, like I'm glad that I am where I am, even though there's always like a next goal, right? Like I'm always like looking for the next thing to do. I'm always looking for the next project. Always looking for the next, I don't know, milestone in my path. And even with all that, like I know that I'm happy where I am today because I am healthy. I am in a good conscious mind, you know. I am, I don't know, like just so happy that I have the friends that I have today. Like my friends are awesome. Like especially like those, you know, you have friends and like you have your little cliques and the little groups, and you slowly start chipping away at them. Not like per se like me personally like actually doing it, like cutting people off, but like you see who stays in contact, you see who's actually reaching out. And I don't know, all those experiences just have made today what today is. And I love my life. I love, even though like you know, I'm a struggling student or whatever, like I love my life at the end of the day. Like I would not want to live anyone else's life, because then that means I wouldn't have the family that I have, and that means I wouldn't have the experiences that I've had, and that means I wouldn't have the friends that I have. So that's something to keep in mind, and I think that's just my way of, you know, saying thank you and showing gratitude, because in the spirit of Thanksgiving, yeah, I'm just grateful all around. And yeah, I'm excited for what's coming next. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for today. I just wanted to catch up with you and like share my recent thoughts. And I always have a lot of thoughts. So, and if you want to check out more of my stuff, I also vlog weekly. If you want to go check those out, I have a lot of fun vlogging. It's one of my favorite things to do. Like, vlogging is one of those things that like I've thought about doing so much longer. And I started when I was like 19, and I just didn't continue it because I just felt silly and I felt like no one cared. But you know what? I care. And that's like enough. Like I care about it so much that that's the one thing that I've been very consistent on. Like I haven't missed a vlogging week. Like every Sunday a vlog goes up. So if you want to go check that out, you're more than welcome. And I'm always trying to respond to everyone. And, you know, even if you DM me too, like I just love like the interaction, okay? I love meeting new people and like making friends. So that's kind of where I'm at. Anyways, thanks so much for listening, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.